Hi Virgo. Welcome to your season. Welcome to your time of the year. Welcome to what could be possibly one of the best seasons in a long time for earth signs. And particularly for you. We start off Virgo season on the 30th of August. That's not when we start Virgo season, but we started off pretty quickly with a new moon. And the new moon is in your sign, of course, but it's not just any old new moon, because this new moon is conjunct Mars. Mars, the sun, the new moon, Mercury, and Venus. All in your sign. And Venus trines Saturn. The sun and Venus trine Uranus. That's pretty impressive. That is a pretty impressive new moon. And this new moon has so many beautiful points to it because the Venus energy is so loving and so caring and so feminine and so romantic. And the Mars energy is so strong, so fierce, so driven, so independent, particularly with Uranus there. And you have all these amazing aspects to manifest something with, because if you believe in astrology, you believe in the new moon, and you believe the new moon is the time when you plant seeds. You believe the new moon is the time when you set intentions. You believe the new moon is when you think ahead. Yeah. So, what do you want to happen? What do you want from this new moon? Because it's pretty impressive. You have Venus and Mars in your sign. You have the feminine, you have the masculine, you have you always have the verbal skills. You always have that Mercury aspect because you are ruled by Mercury. And when Mercury is in your sign, there's such a comfortable energy to that, which is what makes it so much more impressive. I was talking on my Instagram about how Freddie Mercury himself had Mercury in Virgo. And that was apparently... Now, this is speculation, but that's apparently why he called himself Mercury, Freddie Mercury, because Mercury was on the ascendant when he was born. So that just goes to show you, because he had a very, very powerful way with words. And for you, Virgo, this new moon is... If you don't journal, if you don't write down what you want, now is the time. And it's funny because you don't want other people to know what it is that you want. I can tell from the cards. And coming up to September 14th, where we have a full moon in Pisces, your opposite sign, which is opposite Mercury, it's opposite Venus, it's square Jupiter, but it's conjunct Neptune. So romantic. The full moon in your partnership sector, and here we have the Lovers. The first thing that comes out of this full moon is love. So there's probably somebody new in your life if you're a Virgo. If it's not somebody new, there's a love interest of sorts, possibly a long-term relationship, of course. There could also be somebody who is of interest to you. But this full moon in Pisces is going to expose it. Now, this full moon in Pisces is at 21 degrees. And there's a lot of 0-degree activity happening. So that can make things more intense. So the full moon is opposite, I believe it's opposite Mars. I have notes, actually, let me check. Yes, it's opposite Venus and Mars, but it's opposite Mars quite strongly, and Mars is square Jupiter, and opposite Neptune at 0 degrees. So, if it's felt a little bit you versus them with your relationships, you're about to find out why. Mental clarity of words. Mercury in your sign is giving you the ability to say what you need to say. And this full moon in Pisces is going to make a lot of people talk as if they're drunk. And I know that sounds peculiar, but this full moon in Pisces, it is conjunct Neptune, Pisces ruler, and it's square Jupiter, which is Pisces traditional ruler. But Neptune's in Pisces. People are going to talk as though they're drunk. And that very same day, Mercury and Venus both enter Libra, and they're forming a conjunction, which is giving the heart this really important voice. And if that wasn't enough to give you some cleanup, some clarity, some changes in your love life, Saturn is going direct on the 18th. Here we have the 6 of Swords. You're moving beyond something. There's an issue, there's a problem, there's a barrier, and you're moving beyond it, Virgo. Okay. Possibly, with that Six of Swords energy, possibly there's a past issue that you've had to move beyond lately, or you're thinking you're finally ready to let it go and you're finally ready to start with somebody new. For a lot of Virgos, it's somebody very new in the picture. But because Neptune is casting this fog, you don't necessarily know if you're sure. You don't know if you're sure of this person. You don't know if you're sure of this relationship. They maybe don't look the way you expected them to. You guys have pretty high standards, 3 of Pentacles, but a framework, a foundation has been laid. Something is beginning to sprout. Or something is at that stage now where the Fulfilment in Pisces is going to tell you where it's going. Could be an Aries. Could be somebody who's very headstrong. For a lot of relationships, if it's romantic, and it very well may be, because we're talking about that Fulfilment in Pisces, but Saturn too. Saturn going direct. Saturn going direct in Capricorn, which for Virgo people is actually your sector of fun and frivolity and romance. It's your 5th house energy. So that's pretty impressive. But this Emperor, somebody likes to do things their way, and I'm sensing it's probably you, but you could be dealing with someone who's just that way inclined. For a lot of you, it's the workplace. For a lot of you, it's feeling disrespected. It's knowing that you could do things better than the person giving you orders, and you're probably right. When are you not? When is Virgo not right about what's going on at work? I don't know. Even Virgo rising, I swear, they know better. That's just what comes with your territory, though. You guys see the foundations. You guys see the details. You guys see... I mean, my brother's a Virgo, and he is such a... he's absolutely textbook. And he doesn't believe in astrology. He's very against it because there's no... in his opinion, there's no framework. There's no analysis for it. And he's very meticulous. He has to get everything perfect all the time. He has to be everything to everybody. You could do, Virgo, with channeling some of that intuition that you have. And actually, the High Priestess to come up, because this is coming up as very significant, that Fulfilment in Pisces, High Priestess is Pisces energy, and that's all about being intuitive. But it's also about accepting the darkness with the light. And accepting that sometimes your shadow side can be doing you a disservice in your relationships. It can happen, Virgo. This High Priestess energy is telling you, especially if you're dealing with a Pisces, one of you is dealing with that logic, that reason, and the other person's dealing with that intuition, with that internal guidance system. And that's causing a clash. And that's to be expected because the Fulfilment in Pisces is opposite a lot of the Virgo energy. But what did I say about the dark and the light? You need that contrast. You need that contrast to be sure. Maybe you're not sure. Maybe this Fulfilment in Pisces, yes, you're not sure. Queen of Pentacles and the 2 of Swords. You're not sure about something and you're looking to make a decision. You're very aware that it's your season and that the attention should be on you, and you have something that you have to figure out, you have to clean up, you have to suss out. But you're looking to go about it in a different way that isn't quite fitting. And you know it's not fitting because Virgos know when something's not the right method. But to go against your own hypothesis is going to be tough. And I get that. If you could just see, Virgo, that this Pisces full moon will illuminate certain fears, certain illusions, certain problems that you have within that are actually holding you back, you would go so much further, so much quicker. But this full moon is going to show you a few things. If your relationship at the minute isn't coming up to your standards, Knight of Pentacles, it's probably going to be make or break time around the full moon. Even if you're assessing somebody new, because you guys can, you can vet people quite well. So I cannot believe how much this card has come up this month. and the Three of Wands. That's the outcome. Ten of Cups. Again, here we go. What's underneath? Eight of Wands. A lot of Virgos desperately need a vacation. If you can get a last minute one, I would recommend it. Ooh. Yes. This is going more into the extended side of things, but you're reunited with somebody. Could be an old friend though, but it could also be romantic. But you hear from somebody around that Pisces full moon that makes your heart feel very full. But it's not necessarily without its problems. It could have been somebody who kind of hurt you in the past by being foolish or made you feel like a fool. So for a lot of Virgos, there seems to be a reunion of some sorts coming in Virgo season. And I feel for a lot of you, because of that Three of Cups energy and the Eight of Wands, it's probably a happy birthday message from somebody that you weren't quite expecting to hear from. I do sense with the past, there's always that reconnecting with the Six of Cups and the Ace of Cups, or it can also be reconnecting with somebody that you feel like there's a past life vibe with, because it happens. But Virgo, you're at this point in your season where you want to be the emperor. You want to be the one in control. You want to be the one calling the shots. You want to know that everybody else respects your decision in a way, even though you're a sign of service. Mars can do that to you. Mars isn't necessarily comfortable in Virgo, but it's still going to be that drive, that energy, that ambition for you. And when Saturn goes direct on the 18th, not long before we move into Libra season, I mean, God help anybody that really wants to stand in your way, because it's not going to work. It's not going to work for them. Even if the people around you can't make a decision to save their lives, you're going to plow on regardless. And you know what? Fair play, because you're going to get results. Things are going to work out a lot better than you've expected them to. This just, I mean, it came up for Scorpio and it came up for Leo. And now it's come up for you. But I believe that for Scorpio, it was also in the outcome card. For Leo, it was at the very beginning of the reading. I do think, Virgo, with this Three of Wands and this Ten of Cups, and I suspect that a lot of it is to do with that grand earth trine. It blesses you with so much abundance, with so much excitement, and with the potential for something that will last. When I see the Ten of Cups and I see the Three of Wands, I think of something that will last. And that is a lot to do with Venus connecting with Saturn. Saturn going direct in your romantic sector. Kerching. Saturn connecting with Venus. Saturn connecting with Uranus. What can start like this can end up going forever. With the Emperor, again, that Mars energy, and we'll get more into the Aries in the reading, the Pisces in the reading, the other earth signs in the reading, because they're here too. And there's water signs, they're all here. If you were to just enjoy the energy of Mars and the drive of Mars, but not necessarily have your temper flare at feeling as though other people are incompetent, because you know they are. It's almost scary to do a Virgo reading sometimes, because you think they're just going to pick holes with you, but it's your love language. It's an act of service thing. It is wanting to help more than anything else, and I understand that. And Virgos, because of that Mercury aspect, have such a way of articulating things if you let them, that you can't argue with it. So keep doing you, because this Ten of Cups, I actually cannot believe that this is your outcome card. I can. It is Virgo season, it makes sense. And that Pisces full moon, although tricky in some ways, is also going to be illuminating the points that can drive you forward, that can teach you what you need to know about the way that you love and your love language. Because I feel, Virgo, if you're dealing with somebody particularly particularly if you're dealing with another water sign or a Gemini. The love language is different. They want to hear something from you, and you just want to do things that you believe are what's demonstrating you care. They're not used to that. They see that differently. Similarly, if we're dealing with a work situation, you want to be the boss, you know you're doing it the right way, and you are. But would it hurt to just let them be indecisive? Lead by example. Follow your hunches. Especially if it's coming to a water sign, especially if it's coming to a Pisces. We'll get more into that into the extended, but have a really wonderful Virgo season. It's going to be a beautiful full moon in Pisces. Mars in your sign squaring off with Jupiter in Sagittarius is going to be an interesting one for you, particularly when it comes to your family dynamic. Because you might feel a little bit challenged by your elders. Or you might feel challenged debating about politics, debating about religion. That sort of thing can become very heated around the Pisces full moon. With the Pisces full moon, the point is to just feel it out and let it slide. You can do that. You can go with your hunches, you can go with your gut. Jupiter squaring off with Mars can make things seem bigger than they are. And I've said this to Leo as well. It can make it seem much worse than it is around the full moon in Pisces. If you could just get in touch with that side of you that is empathic, that side that is intuitive, that side that is romantic, and allows yourself to tap into your feelings just a little bit, your love life will soar. Even if it's a business partnership, it'll soar. So just try and see things from the other person's perspective. And remember, you've got a pretty good season ahead. In fact, it might just set you up for the future more than you realize, or more than you suspected. I'm not saying you're wrong, just saying you'll be surprised. So I love you guys, and I will see you in the extended linked below if you're joining me there, and if not, I'll see you in Libra season. Bye, Virgo.